Hey, my handsome ladies and gentlemen, this is Shmeaty, and in today's video, I suppose great minds think alike because Potato submitted next season's meta in this season, and we're going to be doing a part 2 of this series. I suppose it's a series now. We're going to be running Gastrodon, getting access to the newly buffed Mudslap with buffed energy and buffed damage. Alolan Marowak getting access to Fire Spin doing more damage, and Bone Club doing more damage. And Talonflame is just Talonflame. Nevertheless, if you find enjoyment in today's video, please feel free to leave it a like and subscribe. Without keeping you too much longer, let's get into these matches. We're going to be kicking things off with game number 1, leading Gastrodon into Lantern, our actual dream. Now Lantern is going to immediately switch out into a Goodra, and this is a little bit problematic as we've got 2 fire types in the back. This is our best response to Goodra, so it looks like in this game Gastrodon is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. And we are just going to keep firing off these Mudslaps. They're already chunking away at the Goodra's HP. Look at how low we've gotten this Goodra. They are going to fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to be shielded by us, maybe in an attempt not to get farmed down, but we also know that this Gastrodon is our win con in a lot of instances in this game. In comes our Alolan Marowak. AWAC is going to no-shield whatever energy this is, as we do need to save a shield for what we believe is our win con in our Gastrodon. In comes a Guzzlord in the back, and this is trouble. We're going to fire off the Shadow Ball. We don't have Legacy Shadow Bone, which is a better move. However, Shadow Ball is a fine alternative if you do not have the Elite TM. We are going to go down, get farmed down, and now the Guzzlord has a massive amount of energy. Our Talonflame is pretty much dead weight here, so we are just going to bring it in to do whatever it can. Try to put as much of a dent in this Guzzlord as we can. And now our switch is up. In comes our Gastrodon. Gastrodon is looking for the farm down on the Guzzlord. Unfortunately, it's a bit of an ambitious one. And now Guzzlord is going to fire off the Dragon Claw. We're just going to have to throw the Body Slam as soon as we get it. And if they commit a shield here, we are absolutely cooked because there would be a full health Lantern on our Talonflame, but it doesn't even matter because this move from the Guzzlord will KO our Talonflame, and GG's to this trainer. Alright, on to the next match. It's going to be Gastrodon leading into Vigoroth. With 2 better Vigoroth answers in the back, we are going to immediately safe switch into our Alolan Marowak, which is not going to prompt a switch from the opponent. Good to know. They are going to stay in and probably Rock Slide us. I mean, I wouldn't imagine they'd bait. They would Rock Slide, and now the Rock Slide does get us pretty low, but we are going to be able to spam out these Bone Clubs here, and Bone Club is going to grab his shield. We did build up a bunch of energy. Maybe the opponent was fearing the Fire Blast, and we are just going to fire off another Bone Club. They know it's a Bone Club, and they are going to let that go. We're going to be able to reach a last second Bone Club here. We just no shield every time here. If they Bozo bait, we are just going to be able to make the Bone Club, but they intelligently throw the Rock Slide and take out our Alolan Marowak. We're going to bring in our Gastrodon here, and honestly, we can no shield here. Gastrodon has some respectable bulk to it, and we are going to get taken down below 50% by that Body Slam. But we're in an okay spot. In comes a Gligar, and in the back, oh my goodness, the I-Switch, U-Switch, they're bringing in their Charge Bug to get absolutely blasted by the Talonflame. I suppose this is the best place for it to be remaining, but nevertheless, we're going to build up to nearly the back-to-back Flame Charges, or I believe we're at the back-to-back Flame Charges here. Flame Charge will pick up the KO, we're at the back-to-back, and now we just get to go for the double fly, and these flies are boosted. Fly number 1 will most likely grab the shield from the Gligar, and we can commit a shield on this Aerial Ace and under tap our fly because we have the energy for it. Shielding up the Aerial Ace and another fly onto this Gligar. Is this going to be enough to KO? We're only +1. It nearly does, and you thought that you were going to not get KO'd by this Gastrodon because you had the Gligar. Little did you know we had the Body Slam loaded. GG's. Maybe I just need to be leading Gastrodon because it's going to pick up another good lead into a Charge Bug in the next match, and this is perfectly fine by me. We're just going to stay in here and just Mudslap away. This Charge Bug is taking massive damage and also throwing on alignment. They're doing us so many favors by staying in here and throwing their energy on alignment. They're going to fire off another move here, but it's a-okay by us. We can no-shield this, and the X-Scissor is going to be no-shielded, getting us below 50%, but now we have the Body Slam loaded. And If they do not shield this, they are going to get mud slapped down, and because they threw an alignment, they get mud slapped down. Oh no, the humanity. In comes the Mandibuzz. We save switched into our Alolan Marowak, but now it's all the humanity for us as Marowak is getting blasted. This is the worst possible matchup for a Marowak to ever be in. We're going to fire off a Shadow Ball onto the Marowak here, and onto the Mandibuzz here, and they are going to easily be able to two-shot us. We're going to fire off this Bone Club. Why not? We built up a bunch of energy hoping they would respect the Fire Blast. I respect the play. They shield up the Bone Club. What is this? Oh my goodness, they're going to get the full snarl down. In comes our Talonflame, and honestly, this is going to be no-shielded, this Dark Pulse. We know we live one. Dark Pulse is going to be no-shielded. We are still above 50% HP, and we're going to no-shield this one as well. Seeing how much that did, we are going to live with just a bit more HP, and they are going to bring in their Lantern, but we have just enough of our Gastrodon remaining for this Lantern to get absolutely blasted. They're going to shield up our Earth Power. That's not going to save them. We're going to reach another Earth Power, and I believe that was on CMP. Oh my goodness, Lantern is not ready for what's coming to them. They get blasted by the Earth Power. Top left the game. GG's to this trainer. Alright, in this next game, it's going to be another Vigoroth lead. Now, once again, we have two better responses to the Vigoroth, and we have to bait something out anyway. So we are going to bring in our Alolan Marowak here. And speaking of baiting something out, this is probably the best Pokemon to bait out in the meta, because Talonflame has a lot of play into most things, but zero play into Lantern. Everything Talonflame can throw is resisted into Lantern, so it's very important to bait it out here. Fortunately, we are able to draw out the Lantern, and now we're going to fully wait out our switch timer, bring in our Gastrodon, and now we're just going to commit to this Mud Slap down. They're going to be able to make another Surf here, but that's okay. We're just going to let this Surf go. Not a problem at all. Surf going to bring us down to about 50% HP, but that's okay by us. Two shields remaining on both sides of the field here. They're going to opt to bring back in that Vigoroth, and we're going to fire off this Body Slam. Body Slam onto the Vigoroth is going to do some respectable damage, and we are just going to stay in, allow them to throw their energy here, because if they were able to make a Rock Slide, it'd be a lot worse for us. We are going to get KO'd by that Body Slam, and now in comes Talonflame. It's a two-shield Talonflame versus the remainder of this opponent's team. We need to get this call correctly. If they Body Slam us here, it would be tragic. They are going to Body Slam, and in comes a Wigglytuff. Holy cringe, we may just be able to make this game happen. Flame Charge onto the Wigglytuff is going to mean our Incinerates are now boosted, and we're going for the Flame Charge Double Fly. In case you weren't aware, Flame Charge Double Fly is the best, most effective way to use your energy as a Talonflame, because it means that your pacing is 3, 2, 2 for your moves. So we're going to fire off the Fly onto the Wigglytuff. Since it's boosted, it's going to pick up the KO. They're going to be able to reach a last-second move with this Vigoroth, but because that Incinerate went through, this game is over. GG's. In the next game, it's going to be Shadow, Alolan, Ninetales on the lead versus our Gastrodon. And we're going to stay in for just a little bit here, see if they wanted to switch out. But now it's us that's going to switch out. They are going to bring in their Bastiodon, counter-switching our Alolan Marowak. Safe switch. Alolan Marowak is going to be able to fire off these Bone Clubs, but they are double super effective. But in the current state of the game, the Bone Club is such a terrible move. We're going to let this move go, and you're going to see a very intelligent play by Potato here. We let that Stone Edge go and then bring in the Gastrodon while the Bastiodon is still locked into this terrible matchup. Understanding all this energy from the Bastiodon, no matter how much it gets, is not going to threaten the Gastrodon one bit. We are not even at 50% HP, and they got a ton of fast moves and a charge move in on us there. And we're going to be able to fire off this Earth Power onto the Alolan Ninetales. They no-shield it, maybe expecting a bait, but we did not bait whatsoever. The Ninetales is now very low, and they've got an Annihilate in the back, throwing their energy on alignment, giving us an entire free Incinerate Trainer. That is 20 free energy you just gave to the Talonflame. That is a very dangerous gambit to be playing. We're going to fire off the Flame Charge, no reason not to. It would KO from this range. They're going to put up the shield. We're going for the Incinerate down. We are going to be able to shield up whatever move this is. It's going to be the Night Slash. That Incinerate KO'd, and we leave with the back-to-back flies. Back-to-back flies means this game is over. shield up on the first fly. Second fly is going to be more than enough to KO the Ninetales. We're boosted. Yeah, no chance that Ninetales was living that. Anyway, GG's. It would appear like these trainers are getting all the Vigorothing out of their system while they still can. We're going to lead Gastrodon into Vigoroth once again. And I mean, hey, listen, if our Marowak could receive a gold medal for baiting out its worst matchups in the entire Great League, it would certainly have that gold medal right now. Because in comes another Mandibuzz and we are fully walled once again. They're going to be able to fire off another Foul Play here. This one's on Foul Play as opposed to Dark Pulse. Generally, Mandibuzz would prefer the Dark Pulse just for the damage output since it's very bulky and has a pretty garbage attack stat. But nevertheless, they're still going to two-shot us here anyway. Actually, they're going to be able to go for the one-shot plus farm down, which is debatably even worse. But we're going to bring in our Gastrodon just to soak up all this Foul Play energy and go for the very aggressive Mud Slap farm down. They are going to fire off another Foul Play here. We're just going to switch into the Talonflame here, locking ourselves, which is fine. There was about a 0% chance we were going to get that farm down anyway. So we're going to bring in our Talonflame and we are aligned onto the Vigoroth. Now, 99 times out of 100, the Vigoroth is going to bait on the first move here, but it's still a very good play to shield up because if they Rock Slide here, we're just absolutely blasted. We have no win con, so we are going to throw the Flame Charge there and now go once again for the double fly. They're going to go for the Rock Slide and we actually correctly shielded up. We are now double cheeked up. This Vigoroth needs to not throw their energy here because if they undertap, it's going to be CMP, which they lose. Oh no, they were not keeping track of our energy. They thought we were one away, and now they're going to get KO'd there. In comes the Trevenant in the back, and we are 2 away from a fly. Once again, the pacing on this Talonflame to these very devastating moves. The fly gonna pick up the one shot on the Trevenant. They're gonna be able to bring back in the Mandibuzz, fire off some energy here, and now it's all up to Gastrodon, mud slapping away. They top left knowing we were close to the body slam. GG's to this trainer. Into the next game, it's going to be Gastrodon leading into Mantine. This is probably one of the worst things we could ever see unless it was like a Shadow Vic on lead. They're going to bring in the Alolan Marowak here, or rather we're going to bring in the Alolan Marowak and just tank whatever energy they throw. They're actually going to Aerial Ace bait and bring in Carbink. Now, Carbink is a very good bait out for us. Once again, Alolan Marowak really taking some punishment here, baiting out every single one of its worst matchups possible. We're going to be able to build up to this Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball onto the Carbink is going to do a sizable chunk. Really don't want this Carbink on our Talonflame anyway, so very good of us to get that bait out. They're going to fire off the Moonblast. The only Pokemon they've seen so far is the Gastrodon so far. They're probably not going to make 2 moves, but maybe with that attack debuff they might. They're just not able to. We're going to get that farm down, and in comes our Talonflame. We do have this Mantine to deal with though, and if they are on Water Pulse, it would do a tremendous amount of damage to us. So we are going to put up a shield. They Aerial Ace bait. This Mantine, I don't even know if they have any other moves than Aerial Ace. All they have shown so far is Aerial Ace, and we are nearly halfway through this game. We're going to be able to fire off the fly. They're going to put up a shield, and honestly, I would have no-shielded this too. This is probably an Aerial Ace too. Yes, it is, and we're 1 away from the fly. We're going to be able to make it. In comes a Lickitung. Lickitung is going to tank this fly very easily. Oh, tasting up that fly, and we are going to be able to make another fly onto the Lickitung. Lickitung is not going to be very happy tanking another fly worth of damage, so they are going to put up a shield, and they are going to fire off a move onto us. If they bait with the Power Whip, or excuse me, with the Body Slam here like they did there, it is a little bit more awkward for us. We're full sending this Earth Power. We've got 1 win con, and that's that you're going to call that we're going to Bozo bait, and they called that we Bozo bait. They're going to be able to fire off another move here. Body Slam will be more than enough to KO us here. So they are going to just fire off the Body Slam. In comes the Mantine, and they've got the Aerial Ace loaded. They may not have had 2 moves, but they only needed 1 to win this game. GG's to this trainer. Alright, into the next match, it's going to be Gastrodon leading into Shadow Gligar. Not at all good for us. We're going to safe switch into our Alolan Marowak, and man, Marowak really having a rough day today. Having to switch into a Gligar is a very unfortunate happenstance for us here. They're going to Aerial Ace bait because why not? It still does a solid amount of damage, and we're going to be able to get this Shadow Ball off because they wanted to decide to bait us there, we just no-shield anything here. Honestly, it was a little bit of a debate in our head there, because honestly, maybe we could shield and get the Shadow Ball, but no, they're just going to go straight Aerial Ace there anyway and outpace us, so I like the decision to go for the no-shield there. They are going to bring in a Spark Lantern, and unfortunately Spark Lantern going to be able to make another move here, but since they aggressively pivoted out into this Spark Lantern, they must have very short-term memory, because we've got a Gastrodon to wall the entire Spark Lantern. Even though they're going to be hitting for neutral with these surfs, it's not going to look like it. We're going to get out of this matchup with a ton of HP. We're going to fire off this Body Slam because they are going to be able to make another surf here, and before they do that, we want to make a shielding decision from them. We're at the back-to-back Body Slams here, so if they shielded up there, we would have been in an even better spot. In comes the Poliwrath. Now they've got a Poliwrath in the back, we're sending this Earth Power, absolutely no reason not to, and they are going to no-shield it. Mud Slaps though, adding up quite a bit. Are we going to make this Body Slam? Just not able to. We're going to fire off the Incinerate, and they throw their energy on alignment. Oh no, Trainer, what was that? They fire off the Scold. We're going to be able to undertap the Fly, and we're debuffed, but the Gligar really cannot afford to take a Fly right now, so they are going to put up a shield, and we're going to fire off another Fly. It all comes down to this. Are we going to be able to outpace this Poliwrath? Because we didn't KO there, we may just be able to. They are going to be able to fire off an Aerial Ace, but this will not KO. We're going to be able to get to another move, but it doesn't matter. We KO with the Incinerate. GG's to this Trainer. If you made it to this point in the video, thanks so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. And massive shout out once again to Potato for the battle submission. Really helps me out in pushing content out to you guys, keeping the content stream flowing, and not having me mauled my face off when I can't get enough footage recorded for a team I want to feature. That being said, thanks again so much for watching. This has been Shmeaty. I hope to see you guys again next time, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.